Hello again people, it's Charlie and welcome back to the Chatting Footy Show YouTube channel. It's been a while, obviously it's the international break. I don't usually like to talk England because most of the time the games just aren't as entertaining as the Premier League. But I thought I'd jump on since it has been nearly a week now since I've uploaded, so I thought I'd do just a post-match reaction video to the Albania game that's just happened tonight. So yeah, if you could hit the like button, guys, it'd be really appreciated if you do, and please subscribe if you haven't already for more content, and let's get into it. So yeah, the first half was a very slow start from England. I felt that Albania set up in a certain way that was aimed to frustrate us, and that it did. They played the high line, which, yeah, as I said, it frustrated us a lot in that first half. Very few chances created, a lack of creativity, and it was actually quite boring for the first half an hour, if I'm honest with you. They caught us on the counter attack a few times, which put us at risk, and I feel like whether Southgate got the message across on the pitch or at half time, that was interpreted over to the players. They'll have realised it themselves anyway, because it was very frustrating for that first half an hour. I feel like Harry Kane especially, I mean, we all know that at Spurs he likes to play deep, and you know the goals and assists speak for themselves in the Premier League for Kane this season. And obviously I understand the impact that he's trying to have on the game. For example, with tonight's game, you know, he was dropping deep, trying to look for the run of Sterling, Mount and Foden. Which, yeah, as I say, I understand that is a huge part of his game. But for me, a finisher like Harry Kane needs to be in the box as much as possible. I know that sounds like an obvious thing to say, but there was countless times in that first half where we could have got balls into the box and Kane just wasn't there, or we would get the balls in there, but because Kane isn't there to tap it in or to head it in or whatever, the chance just goes begging. And like I say, I understand the impact that Kane is trying to have on the game by dropping deep, but there were instances where he would drop deep, he would give it, and would be on the attack and he would just be like jogging slowly into the box. I know he's not the quickest of players, but he needs to have a turn of pace and he needs to get in that box ready for a header, a tap in, or whatever. So yeah, just before half time, England made it 1-0. Really good header from Harry Kane, which was for. So yeah, the breakthrough came just before half time, about 5-6 minutes before half time. Really good headed goal from Harry Kane. It came from Mason Mount winning the ball in the penalty area, laid it off to Luke Shaw, who had a really good game as well. And the cross in for Kane's header was beauty. And Kane, like I've just said about Kane, he was in the box, he wins the header and it goes into bottom corner and makes it 1-0 just before the break. On to the second half now, and yeah, much better start to that half from England. As I said, first half was quite slow and it took him a while to get into some sort of rhythm. But the second half, Southgate must have told him, you know, that that's not good enough, especially against a team like Albania. We need to be at them from the get-go. So yeah, the start of the second half, we came out all guns blazing, very energetic, seemed more enthusiastic about it as well. And the high press, the pressing was really good, outstanding actually. Complete contrast from the first half. I noticed that obviously Calvin Phillips and Rice both played together today. In the first half, they seemed to be switching in terms of who would sit in front of the centre halves, who would go forward. It seemed to be switching, and they didn't know who was gonna solidify that spot in front of the centre halves. I feel like in the second half they decided that it was actually Rice who would sit in front of the centre halves and allow Phillips to go forward. Obviously, as a Leeds fan, I watch a lot of Calvin Phillips, and I'm very much used to him sitting in front of the back four to ping balls out to the wings or through the middle. Was strange actually seeing him go forward more. I'll be honest, he didn't have a massive impact but that's because he was playing out of position. If the roles would have been switched, then Phillips would have stayed in front of the back four. I feel like the impact from him would have been a lot better. Rice and Phillips are both quality players. Obviously, I know Henderson's out at the moment injured, but for me, Southgate must have a massive headache on who to start in those roles. I mean, Phillips and Rice played really well together today, so I wouldn't be against them two starting in the Euros, but he will probably go with Henderson and Rice, and understandably so, I think, given their experience at international and Premier League level. But Phillips has definitely got to be in that conversation as well. England's second goal, that came from a poor pass out from the Albanian centre-half. Misplaced pass into the feet of Kane, and Kane looks up, and again, like I said about him about the first half, I mean, he likes to come deep and he likes to create those chances. He was quite deep at the point that he gets the ball after the misplaced pass. He sees the run of Mount, plays him in, and Mount beautifully finishes the move off with a superbly taken goal. I've had mixed opinions on Mount since he's joined Chelsea. There's times when I've liked him, there's times when I thought he's a bit overrated, but I feel like this season and for England, he's having a really, really good season. And for me, he's a 100% starter in the Euros. Nick Pope as well. I mean, granted, the calibre of opposition in the last two games hasn't been world class like the likes of Spain, Germany, France, etc. But he's rarely had anything to do, if I'm honest. I mean, credit to the centre halves for defending well enough to not cause him any issues. I think San Marino, he touched the ball about 5 times. So a very quiet evening there. And the game today with Albania, I mean, they created the odd chance, but there was not really that actually put him in much danger. And I feel like Pickford has got too many faults, too many risks of a mistake. But Southgate's probably going to play Pickford if he's fit, simply just because he's got more international experience. But for me, Pope needs to be in the conversation as well. He'll definitely go to the Euros. He'll definitely be in the squad. I just feel like he needs to be more in the conversation of actually starting those games, because I feel overall he's a better goalkeeper than Jordan Pickford, and that's just my opinion. So yeah, with the Euros just around the corner now, I mean, it's exciting times to be English. I feel like the talent that we've got coming through at the moment is amazing. Like Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Jude Bellingham, Sancho, who's obviously an established player anyway, but we've got Sterling, Rashford, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, all these players going forward that are going to cause a lot of countries in the Euros some massive problems. My starting 11 changes on a weekly basis. Sometimes when I sit and think about it, I think, oh yeah, well, Sancho on the right, but then I watched Foden today, and Foden had quite a good game, so I'm thinking, is he going to start Foden, Sancho? Is he going to put... Obviously, Kane will be the main striker. Is he going to start Grealish ahead of Sterling? All these thoughts keep going through my mind. So, in terms of a starting 11, I don't really have a set one at the minute, because, like I say, it changes all the time. Please let me know in the comments of this video who your starting 11 would be and why. I'm interested to see what you guys would think about that. So yeah guys, if you've enjoyed this video, as I said at the beginning, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in a few days time for the Leeds United against Sheffield United pre-match thoughts, and I'll be doing a Premier League predictions for the weekend as well, so watch out for that, and I'll see you in the next one.